to be the best that they can be. Something wrong with your pet, you need help, you don't always gotta take it to the vet. Motivated her to jingle on the radio and call up the Dog Whisperette. It don't matter the behavior or the breed, same day transformation guaranteed. Miss Alisa, best trainer in the league, number one in training pets to be the best that they can be.
Hello, welcome, Chattanooga, Tennessee. There is no other place I would rather be. You're listening to WTPT 100.1 FM radio, or I'm live on YouTube. So either way, you got me for 30 minutes. And so today, I want to thank Alton Park Development Corporation for allowing this platform that's just going to thrive. And so today I have Sheriff Bill Phillips from the Sequatchie County Sheriff's Department. And I say, what makes it make sense? Well, Bill Phillips, the Sheriff of Sequatchie County, is making it make sense. He has started a program where he has introduced stray dogs to the inmates. And we're going to find out how that's going and how we find a voice to bring that to other jails. Is this working? Is this not working? Was it a mistake? Is it something that's going to flourish and it's going to change? Because, hearts have higher frequencies than the brain. I don't know if you know that. So if we work on the hearts, then we can work on the brain next. So, and I say, he brought it in to show some that never have had love or compassion. Dogs just bring that. Dogs bring a universal love. It's an unconditional love. That they're not judgment, they don't judge you. And how many in society today, we need that. We need not to be judged because the world is getting where you're getting afraid to say anything or do anything because of judgment. And so this is judgment free. This is 30 minutes of judgment free, fun and entertaining talk radio. And we're going to talk about the humans and the dogs because they go hand in hand. Behaviors, conditioning, frequency. We set the frequency that our dogs follow. We set the energy and we set the habits that our dogs follow. So change us, change them. Calm minds, calm lives. If you live by any other motto, you need to live by that. Calm minds, calm lives. And so my co-host on here. She didn't get to join us today live, but she will be here live next week. Oh, yeah. Well, she'll be on satellite. I mean in person. Sorry, guys. She's here live. So, with no further ado, here's Nefertiti, the queen of WPTP. How you like that introduction, sis?
Hey, the queen of WPTP. Well, wow, man. That could be Dr. Woods. Well, I take it. That's great. How are you, beautiful?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm
excited. I'm excited. Another one on the books, we're fixing to. And I have Sheriff Bill Phillips. We talked about him last week.
Right.
About the strays in the jails. And he's actually on here now. And we're going to bring him on. And we're going to have a discussion with him about how that's working out. Is it working out? Was it a mistake? Was it something God-given?
Yeah.
So we're going to find all that out. We're also going to talk about separation anxiety. How to avoid it. I've noticed with Zeus, my puppies, I said, this is not structured. We're going with the flow because when you structure something, you lose that flow. So we never know what we're going to talk about, but we're going to talk about it.
Well, let's go. Let's get it. Let's go.
So let's go ahead.
Is he home?
Yeah. He's a very busy man. He's the sheriff of Sequatchie County. So we need to get him on and get him back to his job. He may have some, work he needs to be doing right now.
I'm excited to hear about how it's working.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, good to be with you today.
Yes, thank you. I say my show is Make It Make Sense. And who makes it make sense? The rescuers, the fosters, people who step up to take care of the voiceless. And you are one of those people who's making it make sense for Sequatchie County. And so will you tell us a little bit about the mission that you're on and the program that you've started? And we'll go from there.
Yeah, so just an idea I had even before coming in the office. I'd seen some stories on these programs in various prisons and other
Is your radio
detention
on?
facilities. Uh,
Is your
just
radio
thought
on?
that it was a great idea. Number one, I'm an animal lover, especially a dog lover, and I just liked the way that it really worked to help inmates, so
Time
that
out.
maybe we can. Okay.
Is your radio on? Because I want people to hear this. I can barely hear it. Is anybody's radio on? It's echoing.
Yeah, I'm getting that echo here.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm good.
Okay. Because I want this. This is such a beautiful, beautiful mission that you're on. I want it told without any hesitation, any influence. We're expecting technical difficulties right now. Just stay with us. I think this is something you're going to want to stay tuned to hear. Okay, that sounds so much better. Okay, Denise, we'll have to take you up for just a second, and we'll bring you back.
Yeah, I'm not hearing the echo with you now. So
Okay, perfect. We had to drop her for a second, but I want you to tell this, and I want it to be clear, because this is, you stepped up. You have stepped up for the call when other people have just ignored it, and we're in an epidemic right now. And thank you. But go ahead and tell us the mission, and tell us, go ahead and let's start again.
okay, so yeah, I had seen and read about these types of programs in a few prisons around the country, and some other detention facilities, local detention facilities. So it was just something I had in mind coming into office back in 2022. Not long after coming in, we had an opportunity to bring an animal in. We have no shelter here in our county, so you see the dogs on Facebook occasionally that have no place to live and all that. So we brought one of those in. Worked really really well. We teamed up with a I think it's East Tennessee animal rescue, and so they help us out with the shots and the any vet needs and bringing food in and all that kind of stuff. The first dog that we had in, they put the dog up for adoption. The dog was only there for probably a couple, maybe 3 months, and it was adopted out all the way up in the northeastern United States. So kind of rough on some of the inmates when the day the dog left, So after that, we picked up another dog. We found out within a very short period of time that this dog just didn't have a really good personality for that environment inside a jail, and we had to take that dog back to its owner. And then not long after that, we got the one that we have now, and he was going up for adoption, just like that was the plan to begin with all of the dogs. But he, after a little while, he just some of the inmates got so close to him, and he is just a really good fit back there. Um, the you see the environment in the jail improve drastically. I mean, we have very few heated moments back there because people just stay calm, and it's just really been a blessing. So after a while, we called the animal rescue and asked them to remove him from the adoption list. So he's our permanent back there. His name's Ruger, and he was on TV a couple weeks ago. Um, and then we got a couple small dogs. One we took in from the street, and then we have a couple that a couple of the people that work in our jail own, and they bring in when they come to work, and they stay back there with the female inmates. So just helps the environment back there. Um, it helps just helps the mood, and a lot less bad incidents and things of that nature. One of the things that we really use the dogs for is discipline. And I mean, they love their dogs so much that when they go outside the rules, the first thing we do is take the dog away, and they really really hate that. So it really helps us to keep things in order back there.
That's beautiful. I say dogs, they're all service dogs because when you see them, it just changes your whole frequency. It makes you smile. And like I was saying, they touch the heart, and the heart has a higher vibration frequency than actually the brain does. So what you've done, you've tapped into that frequency of love, and it's so beautiful how it's just showing and transforming the jailhouse. And as a prison minister, I know you have 3 different levels, like A, B, and C. I think C's the worst, right? That's like for your hardened criminals. Am I correct?
Yeah, yeah, they're
Okay,
you have the different classifications. Yes.
okay. So I'm going to probably ask, what do the dogs go to all A, B, and C, or just certain
So
ones?
so we actually have an A, B, and C pod back there because we have three live-in pods. So A pod is the female pod, and of course all female inmates are in that pod.
Okay,
Then we have our B pod, which is our trustee pod. So there are fewer people in that pod, and they're all male. And then we have the general population male pod, which is C pod. So we allow the dogs to go in um, and to live in B pod. That's where Ruger pretty much lives, is in B
okay,
pod. We allow the other dogs to go in and stay in A pod during the 12-hour shifts that their owners are at work. And we allow the dogs to go into C pod under like supervised visits. So we do not allow a dog to live in C pod
yeah,
because it's just not, number one, quite
safe.
the environment there for a dog to live unsupervised. And then we want that to be um, we want that to be an incentive. So we want inmates in C pod to work toward being moved to B pod to have those privileges.
Okay. Have you seen a uptick of prisoners working to get to B pod from C
We
pod?
we see a lot of I think a lot of difference in a lot of our inmates relative to the dogs, especially like I say, Ruger. Ruger's just like, he's just like captured everybody's heart
Oh
since he's
yeah.
been there. And
Didn't you
what's
tell me that he
amazing,
actually lets you frisk him? That he gets frisked?
yeah, the inmates have worked really, really hard with him. That's what I was going to say. It's really amazing how well these guys and ladies have done in training the dogs. Ruger, he sits, he lays down, he shakes with his right hand, he shakes with his left hand, he gives a high five right hand, a high five left hand, and they've got him where he'll stand up against the wall to be patted down. So he's so yeah, it's amazing really what they've done with him.
Well, they're a product of their environment, and they're also a product of what we put into them. And it's beautiful, and it gives them something. It gives them a purpose. It gives a
Yeah.
prisoner a purpose. It gives the dogs a purpose. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I love the way you said that the shelters provide the food and the vet and
Yeah.
all of that. So you don't have to take that cost out of your budget
Yeah.
to have the dogs housed there, which is, I mean, for a short time.
Yeah,
But that,
we have the shelters, and then there are some local businesses as well that step up, and
okay.
if we need dog food, they're glad to give us a huge bag of dog food. So
So
a lot of support for the program.
so, to all the other jails around here, like Marion County, Hamilton County, would you recommend that they try this in their jails because of the difference that you've seen?
Well, it's worked really well for us. Different facilities are different environments, and the way they run things are different. So I think they all have to make that decision for themselves. Like I say, I just really like this program from other things I had seen before even taking office. And then that coupled with us not having a place here in our county for these animals to go, it just to me was a no brainer. And we're still in the beginning stages, even though we've been doing it for a couple of years. Um, we're still learning, and we're still, we're not taking in a lot of dogs. We just can't. We don't feel like we can do that.
Yeah,
But if we can take one here and there, that helps. And
absolutely. And let the
yeah,
prisoners train them, you know?
right,
And
yeah,
then when they
yeah,
go to their new forever home, that takes a lot of stress out of that. Or, so they're pet smart for adoption, and you have a well behaved dog that's going to get more traffic and more response than one who's jumping and out of control. So, it's just a
yeah.
win-win for everybody. It's such a beautiful, beautiful mission.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the inmates, they make it a point to let us know how appreciative they are of the program and how much the dogs mean to them. So that's,
Absolutely. Well, do you think any of them, like when they get out, do you think they will resort to getting a dog as their companion? Do you think that's made such an impact on their lives?
well, that's definitely something that could happen in the future. I think I know I've seen that happen in another jail in the area. I went and visited that jail before we started the program in our jail, and they had an inmate that was going to be leaving pretty soon and was taking his dog with him.
Oh,
Um,
wonderful.
yeah, yeah, and there's you know everybody a lot of the people that leave our jail would like to take, especially Ruger, with them. But he's, like I say, he's the permanent one there. So what we're looking at now is starting up a Facebook page for Ruger, and
Uh-huh.
then when the inmates leave, they can friend Ruger, and we'll put pictures on and all that kind of stuff, so they can keep up with Ruger even from the outside. And then we've got some that are leaving and are asking to come back and visit with him occasionally. So we're going to allow that as well.
Oh, beautiful. Wonderful. Guys, this is my cousin, Billy Phillips from Sequatchie County. You also served Hamilton County for many years as a detective. Am I right?
Yeah, 28, a little over 28 years with Chattanooga PD, and
Yeah. So
22
you
years of
know,
that assigned to homicide. Yeah.
Chattanooga, sorry, we got him now.
Yeah. But
But you have just brought such a refreshing difference in the way we view prisoners and animals. You know, how that combination can be so beautiful and so changing. And I so appreciate that you did step up for Will. And I know how it goes. You probably got phone call after phone call after phone call. Can you take my dog? Can you take this dog? Because
mm,
we're in such a crisis in that little county. People just don't have any outlets.
yeah,
Yeah,
we do get those, and I see them on Facebook myself, and I wish we could go get everyone, but we're just not equipped to do that, and
that's right. I mean, and it takes a
so
lot of volunteers. It takes a lot of hours, and you do have that if you just had the housing.
right,
Maybe
yeah.
that's something that Sequatchie County could come together and do, kind of make a little shelter there. I'm just throwing things out here. But how beautiful would that be? And then we have the prisoners training these dogs who's going to a new home up north.
Yeah, shelter here is much needed. I mean, I think every community needs one. I think there are some people working toward that. I spoke with a lady yesterday, actually, that's wanting to meet with me on some things relative to this. And um, there's been a lot of talk over the years. It's just something that's not happened yet,
Yeah.
but I think it's got to eventually. So
It has to. I mean,
yeah,
it's getting I'm seeing more and more strays. I know growing up, But we grew up together, you know. It wasn't
Right.
nothing to see a dog laying dead on the side of the road. I was so desensitized to that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it quit, and you know, because once we start evolving, we started bringing our pets in, and they started evolving, and you don't see as much of that. But lately, I've been seeing a little bit more than I have in many years in Sequatchie County. A little bit more strays here and strays there, and you know, laying on the road here and laying on that I haven't seen in years. So, you know, keep up what you're doing. You be that leader that Sequatchie County, maybe the rest of business owners, the city, county will follow suit.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we love our program, so we're going to continue doing what we're doing, and you know, it's great for these animals. It's great for the inmates, and you know, we have a lot of these inmates that stay with us for several months, some for even a few years.
Yeah,
And if we can help put a person back on the street that's different than when they came in through this program, then that's a huge plus. And you know, that's our goal, is to give some of these people purpose and let them leave there with a little bit of drive, and go out and do well, and us not have to book them back in just a short time after they get out. So
that's right. Because as a prison minister, I seen it was a revolving door,
right,
you know, because they don't have skills. You know,
right,
you get so desensitized to the world. And then you go back and, you know, a lot of them tell me, you know, they were just, they didn't know how to maintain out in the real world with no skills, no job, nowhere to go. But, you know, with the skills there, I mean, they could go to grooming, dog training, you know, there's so many opportunities now that they
absolutely,
did not
yeah,
have.
absolutely. We've got a GD program that we're pushing really really hard. We're up to around 20 inmates that have gotten their GED since I've been in office. We've got different programs like Second Op, and all these other programs that they have available to them, educational programs. You know, that's really helping them to, you know, when they get out. A lot of these people are in there because of addiction. A lot
Yes,
of them became addicted in middle school or high school, so they didn't finish school. So they have no high school diploma. Well, they get out and they've been sober for a while, and they feel like they're doing well, and they, you know, they're going to get a job and get on their feet and do good, and they go put in application after application, and that first question, do you have a high school diploma or equivalent? The answer is no. So that kind of knocks them out of the loop right there, and so we're just trying to help, and this dog program is a big part of that.
well, I thank you, and I know Sequatchie County thanks you. I know the stray dogs really, if they could, they would really thank you. But keep doing what you're doing. And guess what? He's going to be up for election soon. We got to keep this man in office. We got to keep him. He's a
Thank you.
keeper.
Yeah, it's next year. I appreciate that. It's next year.
Yeah. Look what
Yeah.
you're doing. I mean, you're raising up the people who, as society, we just look over and
Mhm.
out of sight, out of mind. And you're keeping that in the forefront, and you're keeping them engaged, and you're giving them a purpose. And
Yeah,
it's just
and
beautiful.
well, you know, they're obviously not out of sight for us because they're there with us,
Right.
and more than that, is, you know, they're human beings. They're people's sons and daughters and brothers and sisters, and some of them are mothers and fathers. So um, you know, they've all got a soul, and hopefully they can come out and do well.
Beautiful. And what a beautiful soul you have. So, all right.
Thank you.
We're up to 5 minutes, but that will be my ending. I'm going to talk about separation anxiety for your puppy or your dog, how to prevent that. But thank you for joining us. I hope to have you on here again because
Yeah,
you're just
thanks.
such an enlightening soul, and bringing what we need to
Thanks for
change.
having me. Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. It's Bill Phillips, guys, Sheriff of Sequatchie County, who has what is the name of this? Does it have a name?
It does not. It's
Okay.
well, it's just our K9 program. Yeah.
K9 program.
K9
Okay.
program. Yep.
So, all right. K9 program started in Sequatchie County. If why don't you call your jailhouses and let's start a movement. Let's start a movement right now. How beautiful would that be? And what a change. But thank you, and I appreciate you. I love you. You're my favorite cousin. Just don't tell the others.
Okay.
Bye. Okay, guys, we're down to and there's my co-host.
Hey, man, that was so interesting. I had a couple of questions, but I'll catch him next time.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that was great.
Wasn't it though? I mean, just what an impact. What a difference he's making in that little town. You know, my whole life I've never seen anybody step up to make a difference with our stray animals ever. And I'm 29 years old.
There you go. There you go.
In my 29 years, never seen that.
I know that's right. But how are you, lovely?
I'm wonderful. I'm determined. I'm determined to make this work, to get sponsors, to get donors, you know, because this is a 501c. We don't get paid to do this. We do this because we love you guys. We want change and we want balance. You know, we want you to be able to turn on YouTube or your radio and just smile and just learn and just grow with us.
Right. Right.
And so I'm excited. I'm very excited about
Man, I'm excited as well, man. I wonder, have you ever thought about taking it into the juvenile?
What, the dog?
Yeah.
I that would be wonderful, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. Yes,
No,
it
they
would.
take them into court, like when children have to testify against their whoever, you know, the person that's done something to them. They will have the dogs for the children. But yeah, if they were in like group homes, and, you know, how wonderful would that be? So this is just the beginning. This is just a start of a movement that we need to start. Because if we don't,
I agree. I totally agree. It's like sometimes, you know, and it's sad, but it's going to be times when the dogs are the only thing they have to love. Some, you know, that dog that'll help them a lot, because you know, it just saves my. But that's a great thing. Just
it is.
It just threw me for a minute, just a second. Forgive me for that little brain. It just threw me for a second to think that, but you know, that the dogs will be the only, you know, something that they may have to turn to.
Well, that's
so I'm glad that they're there.
You know, it's a beautiful relationship that they may not have ever had, you know, growing up.
Yeah.
Like they've never had that love, that unconditional love that this dog is showing. And that's why they're gravitating to it so much, because it's what we're all hunting. We're all hunting that balance and that love, that unconditional love and that non-judgmental tone. You know, the bark, that's not the tone that judges you. That's a tone that loves you. But I want to talk about, before I run out of time, separation anxiety. Okay, because I've noticed Zeus has started doing that. He started whining when I leave the room or anything. So what? I want to give you some tips, because think about it. When they're born, how do they find their moms? How do they find their pack? They whine. And so, you know, it starts to become a habit to whine, to find you, to find their pack. So what I've learned is with him is you don't talk what you do is you, like when he's whining on the inside, I'll smack the door or I'll take an air horn, because if he sees me, that builds up energy. Okay. And that usually works, but I may have to do it 2 or 3 times. I'll walk away, listen if he's whining, because if you shut that door, if you leave that energy unattended, that energy is going to come out. It's going to come out on your furniture. It's going to come out in many different ways, because you cannot leave energy unattended. So I hit the door and then I'll walk. But if that doesn't work, I've designated him a place. I give him a certain bone. It's a special bone that I give him. Put him in his place, then I walk out. So I tell him to stay. Once stay, I walk out. He's going to come back because it's a habit. Take him back, put him in the same in his bed, walk away. Come back, and about 3 or 4 times he's going to get it, because what you're doing, you're redirecting that energy just by giving him guidance. You're giving them guidance before they leave, so they know what's expected of them when you're gone. Because it's like a child just leaving it, not telling it what you want it to do. You see, but you give it guidance, then that takes away the narrative, and they don't get anxious.
I'm glad you spoke on that, because one of the questions I wanted to ask is what are the signs of stress in dogs that people overlook? And so social anxiety, I'm glad you brought that up, is one. We don't, so we're so happy to have you as the Dog Whisperette to enlighten us on these things, because I've never paid attention to if my dog had anxiety separation.
Right.
I've never
But you will, because they will cry at the door, or when you're walking away, you'll hear them whining. Some are silent, but you'll know when you get home, because your house will be torn to pieces. It will be chewed up. You will not have a door. You will not have a couch. They may tinkle or poop. That's all the release of that energy, because it's just like with us, we have to release it. So we're sitting there screaming. How do we release it? We can hit things, or, cry, or we have different ways of releasing. So do they. But if we had somebody there, breathe, let's breathe, which, we don't necessarily do that to them, like breathe. But when we're going in there and we're giving them guidance, it's the same thing. It's the same thing as saying, calm down, breathe, calm the energy. It's going to be okay. Everything is fine. Then you walk out that door. And you're going to see a big difference. A more secure dog. It makes them insecure too, as well, when they start to don't learn how to self-soothe. They depend on you to soothe everything. It's like a baby. You let it cry. You go in there and you correct it, So it's the same thing. Well, we are out of time. Oh man, this went quick. This was such a beautiful,
it went really fast. Yes.
episode.
Yes.
It's just going to grow from here. But
Absolutely.
Thank you guys. But WPTP 100.1 FM radio, Chattanooga area, on YouTube, nationwide, 3 o'clock Eastern every Saturday. Me and Nefertiti, we're gonna rock your world.
It is.
Bye, guys.
All right. The next time, beautiful.
Bye.